Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are looking at Tarantula, released in 1955. Tarantula stars John Agar, Corday, Leo G. Carrol, Nestor Paiva, Ross Elliott, Hank Patterson, Clint Eastwood. And Tarantula is directed by Jack Arnold. Now, this film was Universal's answer to Warner Brothers' popular Them film about giant killer ants. And Jack Arnold himself said that they wanted to improve and make a more realistic creatures, because the ants that were in them were remote controlled, like creature animatronics and everything, I guess. But there were times in them, and I know that from experience because I remember seeing it, where the ants did not look very authentic, very real. So Jack Arnold and Universal wanted to one-up Warner Brothers with them and make a giant killer spider movie in which the spider effects were going to be a standout, much like the Universal effects on films like The Invisible Man or the groundbreaking costume effects on The Creature from the Black Lagoon, released 1 year before this film. And to be honest, I think Jack Arnold and Universal knocked this one out of the park. I mean, the use of a real tarantula in front of a clear background screen and then overlaid over the settings to make it look like it's marching toward the victims, and then only using for close-up shots of whenever it's about to eat somebody or attack someone. That's the only time you're using an animatronic remote-controlled creature. And I think it was quite effective doing it that way. I think that was the right way to do it, to where they'd one up them as a film. John Agar stars in this film as Dr. Matt Hastings. And I've never understood the criticisms of this actor saying that he's wooden in his portrayals. Everything I've ever seen this guy in, he's very charismatic and he's very likable. So, and this is no different. He has a really good chemistry with his female co-star, Mara Corday, as Stephanie Clayton, and they have an easy chemistry together while they're on screen.
How about a place to live? There are a couple of nice boarding houses in Desert Rock. Cost less than a hotel.
Well, no. I'm going to stay at the professor's. You see, it's all part of my contract. I'll be laboratory technician, cook, student, well, the whole works.
Oh, I see.
Leo G. Carrol as Professor Gerald Deemer he's all right. There's not really a bad performance in this film, actually. But the professor character, the coolest moment with him is after the death of one of his assistants. And he goes back to his house and he gets this formula that he is using. And he injects it in with one of his little lab animals and then walks away from there right into these big, abnormally sized animals. You have a mouse that is the size of a small dog, and you have a hamster that is the size of a large dog. And then as he walks past them, you get to this glass display case, and boom, that's where the tarantula crawls out. And the effects on this sequence are so well done. They are so ahead of their time. It really does make you believe that this guy did inject these animals and they did grow to this big size difference and everything. But, I mean, and then the scene where he gets into a fight with his other lab assistant who goes crazy because he injected himself with that formula. He attacks him and they're fighting, and then they end up breaking the glass that is keeping the tarantula in. After the glass is broken, you see that tarantula crawl out of there and crawl out the back door. And it is just so realistic. I mean, there's nothing about it that you could look at and be going, yeah, that looks fake. That looks phony. I really love the way that Jack Arnold decided to go with the effects in this film. It really is a smart move to use a real tarantula and use visual effects to make that tarantula look gigantic in shots, as opposed to just using some fake looking plastic tarantula, the way that they did in them on the ants. Now, what could... this is what tarantula might have looked like had Jack Arnold not went with these more state-of-the-art, at the time, effects.
A tarantula! Get away from me! What's the matter with you? I killed him! What's the matter with you? A field mouse! Stand back, it's liable to bite you. Tarantula? Shot 5 holes in a divot. Get out of here. Go on. Wasted 5 good slugs in it.
I'll sue you for this.
Oh, superstitious, eh? Oh, vice-eye kid.
But in all seriousness, the performances in this, the effects in this, it's just it's a superb film for 1955. You've got great performances by everybody in it. Ross Elliott plays a reporter named Joe Birch, and he's really good because he doesn't buy into any of the stuff that John Agar's character of Matt is trying to tell. He's trying to warn him that this tarantula is out there, and it's funny how he just doesn't believe it initially, and then when he finally sees it, his reaction is priceless.
Here he comes!
Holy cow.
And then there's Hank Patterson playing the role of Josh, and he's this cranky old guy that is, working in this hotel, kind of a place, and he's right there at the front desk, and he takes in any calls to any of the residents there at that hotel. And the hotel just happens to be where Matt, John Agar's character, stays. And he's got this sequence where he comes back from a big job. Matt does.
All right, Doc. Phone's been ringing like crazy for you. Sheriff's half out of his mind.
Call him for me, will you, Josh?
Yeah.
And whenever he gets him on the phone, he talks to the sheriff, and then he gets ready to leave. And Josh...
Doc, sure sounded worried, didn't he?
Someday, you old codger, you're going to hear something you won't like.
Are you inferring that I was listening in?
Yeah.
That sequence there just proves that John Agar wasn't wooden. I mean, his response to Hank Patterson's Josh there is just great, working off of each other as actors. That is good work right there. But yeah, Hank does the same thing in another scene where Corday first gets into town, or her character of Stephanie Clayton first gets into town. He actually introduces John Agar's character with Mara's, and that sequence is equally as cool.
Take her with you.
Well, you see, I was asking how to get out there, but, well, I wouldn't want to impose on you.
Oh, he won't mind.
No, I'd be glad to drive you.
Well, if you're sure.
Are these yours?
Uh-huh.
Hey, ain't you two going to introduce yourselves?
No.
It's going to be a fast world.
So yeah, he's just a great character, and well played by Hank Patterson. Hank Patterson did a great job in that, and he's a great character actor that's been in numerous films. I mean, you've probably seen him in numerous television series and movies. You just don't know his name. He's one of those character actors that is just really good at playing roles that just you will know the character, but you will not know the actor that played him. It's interesting to note that Nestor Paiva, who had played Captain Lucas in Creature from the Black Lagoon and Revenge of the Creature, plays a pretty much American character of Sheriff Jack Andrews in this film. And it's quite interesting getting to see him play something other than what would, in my opinion, leads to what we get with Sala in the Indiana Jones films.
There wasn't one single recorded case in medical history where a malformation developed as fast as Deemer said Jacobs did.
You mean he was lying to us?
I don't know.
Here's stuff you saw yesterday in Andy's.
Andy?
His wife found him at the corral last night, dead. He'd been, like cattle and sheep. There's a couple of gallons of this liquid beside him.
There isn't time. I'll tell you later.
Lieutenant, look.
Jumping Jupiter.
Corday, who, after this film, in 1958, she was a Playboy playmate. Now, before you get excited on that, there is this was at a time when Playboy had models that did not do nude pictorials. So this was a non-nude one. Now, around that same time, in 1957, she ended up marrying actor Richard Long. And she remained married to him until 1974, when he died, unfortunately. And the other name in this was connected with her because of Tarantula, where she ended up meeting Clint Eastwood, who plays Jet Squadron leader in this movie. Now, you only see his eyes because he's wearing the mask as the squadron leader in here. But Clint Eastwood met her on this film, and they became really close friends. And after Richard Long's death, ironically, here's a bit of trivia for you. He helped her to get a role in The Gauntlet in 1977, and then he continued to make sure that she got cast in films that he was working on. In Sudden Impact, 1983.
Go ahead. Make my day.
And Pink Cadillac, 1989. And finally, in her final film role, in The Rookie in 1990. But yeah, quite a little career. Other than Tarantula, she had done some other more lower budgeted creature feature films. Nothing as cool as this one. But yeah, Jack Arnold as a director, he just knows how to direct these creature features. And this one's just really cool. The effects that they do in this, like I said earlier, are really interesting and a lot more effective than the giant ants in them. The giant tarantula in this looks really badass. And Clint Eastwood and his little squadron end up bombing it at the end and help bring an end to the giant tarantula's rampage. So, yeah, Clint Eastwood went from playing a goofy assistant in Revenge of the Creature and played basically a heroic hero in this one, even though you never see his face.
Dropping napalm. Follow an order. Dump them all.
But yeah, my review of Tarantula from 1955, I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. It is one of the better creature films. I mean, of course, the best creature film, in my opinion, is The Creature from the Black Lagoon. But this one, it comes in a pretty close second for me. It is a really good film, well shot, well put together. Special effects are great. Jack Arnold is always a great director, and John Agar, Mara Corday, Nestor Paiva, and Clint Eastwood. I mean, that's a win for me. But what did you think of this movie? Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Tarantula, 1955. Do you agree with me that it is the better, more superior film to Warner Brothers, them? Let me know in the comments down below. And, as usual, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help our channel out a lot here. And this is still not the end. Okay? We still have some more Universal films coming. So I will hope to see you then. Thank you for watching.